Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Finance Agents Live. This is episode number 47, Time Trials. And, unbeknownst to me, it's Time Trials Part 1, because we're going to have to do a sequel to this, and I'll explain why. But Time Trials is a review of, this is a follow-up to our last episode. On our last episode, we did a deep dive review of 15 different credit monitoring sites where we review the reports from those sites on a regular basis for our clients in order to tell them what kind of funding they qualify for. So I gave information from our underwriters about how good the sites were, how good the reports were, but I wanted to go one step further and find out how easy and fast it was to sign up on the sites, actually try to download a report that could be sent to an underwriter, and then, and this is the drum roll, try to cancel the services. Unfortunately, I was only able to do half of the first part. Apparently, this was quite a project, and one of the things I just ran into while trying to do this is once you do the security questions on a credit monitoring site, number of times, at some point, they stop and say, hey, you're not allowed to do these security questions anymore. So I ran into some sort of block with Equifax. It's a 72-hour freeze where I am not allowed to keep checking my credit with all these different sites, which is good. Great, we got some security on there. I was still able to get through about 10 sites, although I had random problems with each one. But I did, the first part. I signed up for the site, I timed it, and I'm going to be giving you feedback now on those different sites, how it went, what sort of issues I ran into, in order to help you understand whether or not this is a site that you want to go use yourself. And I definitely have some opinions there. Now, if this is the first time your show, you never heard of us before, please subscribe to the show. And you know what? I deserve a like. We deserve a like for this one. I paid money to sign up on 10 different sites. I'm not happy about how much it cost. Frankly, it cost a lot of money to sign up because I was trying to go in and see how do I get my 3 bureau reports and scores that I could send to an underwriter. And some of the sites, like $50. I mean, we're racking up some real costs. So like the darn thing, please be appreciative because I was working for you guys in order to make this happen. All right, so we're in our new studio today, and you may not recognize the difference. We're in a new location, new studio, and we don't have everything up and running yet. So we're going to be doing a little back and forth between me and Darren. Since I don't have my normal screen, I can't see the normal comments from you guys. Okay, so Darren.
So our first foray is into Experian.
First foray. All right, so we broke this up into categories, right? I started off with the big industry sites, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. And then after the big industry sites, then I went to the big media, like marketed sites, the ones you would have heard of most of the time. That's like Credit Check Total, Credit Karma, freecreditreport.com, all those. So first the big industry sites, then the big marketing websites. And then after that, the next step was to go into the identity sites like LifeLock, Identity Guard, Identity Privacy Guard, that kind of stuff. Those are the ones where they finally just stopped. By the time I got to those, I wasn't allowed to pull my own credit anymore, or at least do the security questions as a security feature. So we're going to start off with Experian. And on the last show, I reported to you that you could get your Experian reports for free. That is my understanding, and there's a possibility that I did it so fast because I was timing this thing. There's a possibility that I did it so fast that maybe I missed something, but I don't remember the exact price. Darren, it's right there on the list. What's the price that I have?
You have, looks like $15.95.
Okay, so $15.95 was the sign-up cost, but I went ahead and did the full 3 reports. Was there some other, was that the only report?
$15.95 for 30 days only, no trial, no refunds, and then, yeah, it looks like that's it.
That's it. All right, $15.95, no trial, no refunds. Yeah, so I just signed it. Like I'm so senile, I'm already forgetting the stuff I did yesterday. All right, so Experian, my experience with Experian is that it was relatively easy to sign up for. It went very smoothly. Darren, you got all the videos there. I don't remember off the top of my head. If you could look at the videos, pull it up and just jump to the end, you could see the clock. I had a clock going. By the way, if you're curious to see the whole thing, I'm going to be uploading these videos on Facebook individually or in a group. I'm not really sure. I'll tell you one thing that happened is I got punked on a few of these episodes where the audio went out halfway through. So I'm going to accelerate them so you're not sitting there bored and do a voiceover so at least you get some commentary on what's happening. But while Darren tries to pull it up, I don't know how easily he's going to be able to do this. It's going to be a little complicated. But Experian in general was easy. I'll go ahead and skip to some of the things I learned later about Experian because some of the other websites we were going to review are freecreditreport.com and freecreditscore.com. Experian.com, freecreditscore.com, freecreditreport.com, they are all Experian, and because I signed up with Experian, I was unable to sign up with the other two sites because they are literally the exact same site. It's just got a different cover, right? It's like pick up the sheet in the bed below, same thing. So if you go try to sign up with Experian and then Free Credit Report, you can't.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play this video. I'm going to bring it up.
I don't want to play the whole video.
Oh, no, not the whole thing. We're at the very last few seconds.
Okay. Let's see if there's audio. I don't even know if it's going to work. We've never done this before. Okay, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. When I did this, I thought that was going to be one of the slower ones. You know, I got pretty good at typing this stuff out fast, but I'll give Experian credit for not having all sorts of goofy hiccups that stopped me from signing up. So Experian, that's a win. I would give 2 thumbs up. One thing I did learn, and I don't know if I literally don't know what I said on the video because I can't hear it if you guys just watched it, but one thing I learned with signing with Experian, I was pretty surprised. You couldn't get your full report very easily. I had difficulty with actually downloading the report. So again, the timer is how do you sign up, how quickly can you sign up, and download the PDF report. It's like one thing. And I ran into some issues with the report on that one. Wasn't able to get the other bureaus. We could only do Experian, if I remember correctly. All right, moving on to the next one, which would be Equifax. I ran into all sorts of issues with Equifax, frankly. One of the interesting things is on a number of different sites, I got an error, and it turned out that the real issue was something else, which I found to be really interesting. I mean, I was expecting my bank to cut me off, right? You keep running one transaction after another on all these credit monitoring sites. I thought my bank would think, hey, this must be fraud, let's block it. They never did it. Credit to Chase Bank, they never blocked the card. In fact, one of the websites I called, they actually made me call into the bank, and it turned out it was the site's fault. So Equifax, I ran into one of those issues where I was trying to sign up, and they wouldn't allow me to sign up, and the error they gave me, frankly, is it written in the notes what the error was? What do you see there?
Maybe.
I'm already forgetting what all the error was. It said one thing, but it was really something else. And the error was, drum roll.
Better to go to ACR. Must repurchase every time. No need to cancel.
That's not it. That's just notes.
Cancel it.
Interesting thing about the Equifax account is that you just sign up once, you pay. There's no recurring anything. If you want to go get your report again, you got to pay again. And I believe it was Equifax only. You can't get TransUnion or Experian in there.
I don't see anything on the notes about this other than access helpful and knowledgeable customer service 7 days a week.
Okay, so that is, anyway, there was I don't remember where the error was, and it was probably in the audio that was lost, because this is one of those ones where the audio is deleted, so I don't know that you want to play it for them. At least you can see the time. I think we gave up somewhere around 10 minutes, but I just remember that I was signing up, and it wouldn't allow me to. Can't remember why. Do you see a time?
Yeah, you went all the way to about 22 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, this took so much longer than I was expecting because I had to call in, I had to sit through the hold process, and, well, can't remember what the problem was. All right, next, moving on to TransUnion. TransUnion, you know, I said this before, this is a site that almost everybody used to go to True Credit or TransUnion back in the day. And I think I said on last week's show, I don't remember, what happened? Why does nobody go to the site anymore? And then I remembered when I signed up, because they created the stupid Vantage score, right? You've got FICO score, which most people like, most people want, and most banks use. TransUnion decided to take their ball and go home, and they want to create their own scoring system called Vantage. And some banks and lenders are switching over to it slowly, but most people recognize no FICO. They want FICO, you get your Vantage score, it's very different. So I had another problem with TransUnion when I tried to sign up with them. Equifax and TransUnion, both of them gave me problems, which ended up taking something that's supposed to be short and it made it real long. Was there anything in the notes, Darren?
Score simulator, lock and unlock TransUnion Equifax reports, instant email alerts when someone applies for credit.
Don't read the details of the site. Do you see my notes in the Google
that's your
spreadsheet?
notes.
That's it. Okay. Who knows? All right. What do you see a time on there?
I do not. Give me just one sec.
That's another one of the ones where the audio went out, I think. So that was frustrating.
All right, so it looks like you got up to about 13 minutes.
13 minutes. So again, I had to call in. I don't remember what it was.
I'm seeing you here on the phone trying to talk to them.
Right. Yeah. So, out of the 10 sites that I attempted to sign up with, I think I was only able to successfully sign up for about 7. And I had to call in for 3 or 4 of the 7, right? Again, pretty surprised for that. I thought it would be easier. I got to listen to hold music. I can tell you who has good hold music and who doesn't. All right, so
that's always the worst.
Yeah, some of it was okay, actually. I remember one of them, Identity Guard. The last one had decent hold music. Actually, I think Identity Guard uses Ring Central. I never got a chance to ask the guy. But I'm getting to the point where I can recognize the different phone systems people are using.
Was it super loud? I know sometimes they'll have some decent music, but it'll be really loud and you can't listen to it.
I actually recognize the music, is what I was saying. Yeah, I actually recognize the tune. Okay, so those are the 3 industry sites: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Not in that order. Did the other different order. And then the last one is annualcreditreport.com. So annualcreditreport.com is something the government mandated Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion do. It's provide a way for people to get their report one time a year for free. You don't get a score, but you get the report. One of the interesting things about it is as you go through, you have to do one at a time. You go through their steps. You complete Experian first. Can't remember who's second. I can't remember who's third. But you do one at a time. I thought that meant it was going to be a slow process and it was going to be difficult. The reality was Annual Credit Report was awesome. It was quick, easy, and best of all, free. Because on Equifax, I had to pay $16. I think I even upgraded to something else. No, Experian, I ended up paying a ton of money. It says $15.95, but I think it was more. I wish I had the audio. And TransUnion, I think I spent like $50 because I started off with TransUnion only, then I expanded it to be able to get Equifax and Experian. And in order to do that, I had to pay twice. I think it was $19.95 and then an extra $29.95. There's 2 to 3 different sites that did the double whammy, right? And frankly, it's just not worth it. For us, we can review one report. An annual credit report doesn't give you your scores. That's okay. We don't need the scores. If you need the scores, though, annual credit report is not going to be the place for you. But it is free 99, as a friend of mine likes to say, nice and free and easy. It was maybe one of the easiest sites. Do you see the time on there?
Yeah, it was 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
4 minutes? I think that's actually the quickest one. Now that I've done 10 of them, it's because, frankly, I didn't have anybody to call. I was able to do 3 different sign-up processes in less time than all the other sites took in order to do it. And I could download the reports for free. It was printer-friendly. Yeah?
Yeah, so the nice thing about annualcreditreport.com is the fact that so you don't have to go in order. You can actually choose which one you start with.
You can choose to do one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so if you choose all 3, then it takes you through. But it does sort of make it in a line. Like when you finish one, you click a button, you go back to the site, and it continues.
Yeah.
So it was surprisingly easy for a government-run website, right? The government does a lot of things wrong. This is one thing they did right, easy, and free.
You can thank the FCRA.
Yes, all right, cool. Okay, next. So these are all the industry sites, I'm calling them. Now we're moving on to the commercial sites, the big ones. Credit Karma is going to be the first one that we started off with. And while Darren starts to look up the time, I'm just going to tell you my feedback. Credit Karma was awesome. I loved it. It was, again, free. And now I have a personal concern that they're going to market the heck out of me. I did something really interesting. Every website, not the big industry ones, but every website I signed up with, I created a unique email address. In the process of signing up, they all had a box that says, would you like us to send you information? I always uncheck that box. So we're going to find out who is true or who is a liar, because I create an email address that doesn't exist, is only used in one place, and if I start getting marketing emails, we'll know that they are selling your data. Now this one we may not know for a little while. It might take a little bit of time, but I'm really interested to do a follow-up about a month from now and tell you if Credit Karma is selling your data. I don't know, right? So far it's been relatively easy, and they haven't sent me too many emails. So yeah, what do you see the time on that one, Darren?
Okay, so the time is 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
4 minutes and 38
seconds. And we've got
seconds.
a great shot up of you giving thumbs up.
Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. Good reports. When I did the thumbs up, it was 2 steps, right? How easy was the sign-up process, and whether or not we could get reports, and cost. I threw the cost in there too. They got the Siskel and Ebert 2 thumbs up. Good work. Credit Karma. So far, I just hope you don't spam the heck out of me. But so far, so good. All right, moving on. Who is next? I believe somebody?
Smart Credit.
Smart Credit. You know what? I'll be honest. You know, you come into this with these preconceived ideas, and you know, you don't want to assume something's going to be bad just because you don't like it. You don't even know why you don't like it. Smart Credit is one of those. I came in, I just expected not to like it. Through no fault of theirs. I signed up with them 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't think it was that great. At the time, they had this weird thing where you couldn't view a report on one page. You could only click pane by pane and say inquiries. Now, this and that, and all these different steps. It was weird. I like a report where you can look at the whole darn thing, print it out, send it to an underwriter. So when I came back to Smart Credit, I was already thinking that they're not so smart, but given them the benefit of the doubt, I gave it the college try. Now, this is one of those sites that I had to do the call-in order to complete the sign-up process. To their credit, the reason I had an issue is because I had signed up with them in the past. So I don't know when. We're talking at least 5 or 6 years ago. I signed up with Smart Credit, and when I went in now to sign up, I used my special dedicated email address. I started the process, and I got all the way through to my Social Security number, and when I put that in, they kicked it out and they said, you already have an account with us. Now, then it got complicated because, I'll be honest, I've had a lot of different email addresses over the years, and I had no way to get into the account. That's why I had to call, because I didn't know what was in there. Now, while I was on hold for a long time, I was testing, trying different email addresses. I was able to figure out which email address it was, and I was able to get in faster than I could get somebody off of hold. I think I was on hold for 2 or 3 minutes just before somebody even answered the phone, maybe more. So I was able to get in, and do you see the end time on that, Darren?
It was 12:47.
12:47, all right? So 2 big things held up score sense. The first was signing up. Part of it's not their fault. I did have an account some time ago, so can't totally blame them on that. But the other side of it is trying to figure out how to print out a dang report. That was really challenging. All they had was this summary thing where they'd show you maybe a third of the information. I did find they still have that tabular thing that I really don't like. In fact, I don't even remember if I was even able to print out a successful report. Don't show anybody. You see on the desktop, I saved all the reports on there. You see on the desktop or document, whatever. I saved them all. I'll let you know. I'll throw it in the show notes or something.
I see Credit Karma, Smart Credit. Yeah, you did.
So I printed something, but open it up and tell me if it looks like a real report, if it looks like a bunch of gobbledygook. I like sites that have a printer-friendly version, and I think this one had the printer super unfriendly version, and I think you could only download one of the bureaus. What do you see in there, Darren? Does it look like something you can read? Am I remembering correctly?
You can read it. It's just not easily read.
Yeah, I mean, like
there's portions of data halfway through the page. Some of it's cut off.
Right. Yeah. So it was a mucked up report. It's not the kind of thing. And this is what my underwriter said on the other show. They said, this is not the kind of thing we'd want somebody to send to us. I would not want to, please don't sign up for Smart Credit. If your intention is to print out a report and give it to somebody, it's not going to work. There's other cool things about Smart Credit, I hear, just never really been a benefit to us because we don't need it. All right, moving on. The next one after
Credit check total.
is Credit Check Total. All right, so Credit Check Total is one of the big ones. A lot of people use it. We see these reports all the time, and they've been around for a long time. People love it because it's, is it free or $1 for the first 7 days? Yeah, it's either free or $1 for, I think it's $1 for the first 7 days. They use it to make sure you have a real credit card and that it's active. But the sign-up process was easy. I will tell you the site looks like it was created about 10 years ago. It's pretty old school on the site. But I was able to do it. I was able to get all 3 reports. Everything was good about it except for the fact that, same issue I mentioned on the last show, we can't look at it and know if that's your credit card or somebody else's credit card where they gave you an auth user account, which is something we really need to know. If it's not important to you and you're using it for other purposes, awesome. What was the time that we had on that?
7 minutes and 16 seconds, and you're right, it was $1 for 7 days, and then $29.95 monthly.
All right, so these ones that give you the free or super cheap and then sign up later, I'm expecting a real battle when it comes time to cancel. So look forward to that. I'm going to figure out what you can hear. If I can make it so that you can hear my part of the conversation but not theirs, that would be good. I don't know what's going to work, but look forward to that. I'm expecting a battle with Credit Check Total. Let's see. This one, again, the sign up for Credit Check Total was relatively easy, but I remember having a little difficulty getting to the report thing, right? Anyway, next. Yeah, so I don't have the best notes, but...
Free credit score from Experian.
Okay, so free credit score and free credit report are the next 2. I already gave you a sneak preview on this one. I was unable to sign up with either one because I had already signed up for an Experian, and it's the exact same account. All right, it's literally just like putting on a different hat on the same person. It's the exact same person, just wearing a different hat. Once you get through the hat, same hair. I don't know if that's a weird analogy I just came up with, but it is what it is. So we're skipping over those, and I think that wrapped up all the big marketing. No, there's ScoreSense and Free Score 360, right? Those are the last 2?
Free credit report and then NAV before you
Oh,
get to security
NAV,
sites.
okay. NAV was the last one that we signed up for. So, okay, if you are new to NAV, NAV is a credit monitoring website for personal and business. And so when I did this, I expected it to be a little bit longer because you can't just sign up for one. Well, I think maybe you can, but generally you're going to put in both. So it is a benefit to be able to check your business credit. So I went through the process. It is free. I'm using air quotes on free because you don't get bupkis for free, right? Well, you go through the free sign up. It's pretty quick and easy. So give them points for that. But when you get in, what you get is this sort of summary thing. You get a simulated score and a sort of milquetoast summary, but you can't see an actual credit report, which is what we need. Remember, we're doing this from the perspective of what do we need as an underwriter in order to give you an answer. And we could not give you any kind of answer whatsoever based on the NAV free report. You actually have to go and sign up for the, it's either $24.95 or $29.95 monthly thing, and it's billed right away. So there's no like intro trial. It's basically they give you a little overview for free. If you want to get the data that you really need, you got to pay, I think, $29.95 right away, and it starts the billing. Now, you do get that benefit of getting business and personal, so if that's what you're looking for, you got it. And once I actually got in there, getting a report, I remember the report was not being real good. Open the report and tell me, give me your impression. Darren's looked at thousands of credit reports too, so what do you think when you look at that?
Okay, well, and just so you know, it took you about 6 minutes and 11 seconds to get through that sign up.
Huh? Or you're saying that's the time for me, right?
Yeah.
6 minutes and 11 seconds was the total time in order to sign up and download a report, and that included for me shelling out $30 for you. We bleed for you. How's the report looking, Darren?
Report actually looks...
You know what? Does it look super good? Yeah, that's because I paid more money. You know what? I think I had to pay twice.
Well, this reminds me a lot of... I mean, this is Experian report. I mean, it's formatted extremely
really tight
similar
lines,
to Experian. Right.
That's right. So they had the print version. That's what it was. So you get nothing for free. You get almost nothing for free, which, whatever, that's truism in life. But if you pay the $30, you get a pretty decent report. What I don't know is the accuracy when you actually get in there and using it, because you will remember our underwriters said that it really didn't have information they need, and it was sort of random on what they didn't have. since I'm not the underwriter itself, I can't give you the specifics. I'll try to get an actual answer viewing this report, but I think most people don't pay the $30.
Now, I didn't see anything about like authorized users for those accounts or for that report.
You don't see ownership? I think they call that ownership on the report.
Oh,
Do you see that? Are you looking at that?
I closed it.
Okay. All right, so that was Nav, and then those are the last of the big marketing sites, and then I sort of put them in a category all of their own, is ScoreSense and FreeScore 360, which is owned by ScoreSense. Now, you might be thinking already, I shouldn't be putting thumbs up because you might be thinking already, there's potentially a problem. This is two websites owned by the exact same company. We might run into the Experian problem. The reality is it was way worse. So I tried to sign up for ScoreSense, and it was a complete fail for both ScoreSense and FreeScore 360. Both of them ran into a different, inexplicable, unreparable error. I started with ScoreSense because that's a little bit cheaper. I think ScoreSense is $1 for a week, and then FreeScore is free, and then $35. ScoreSense is, I think, $25 right, $24.95. So I started with that one. In the sign-up process, let me tell you what happened, because it was kind of weird, right? So there's two parts to signing up to a credit monitoring website. The first part is putting in your personal information so that they can actually pull your credit. The second part is putting in your billing information for whatever card you're paying with. Now, every website has the ability to have a different billing address than your personal address. ScoreSense doesn't. So I'm using a business credit card to pay for all this stuff because I don't want to, at least I can write the stuff off working for you guys. But because my personal information has a different mailing address or billing address than my business card, they blocked it and refused to let me sign up. I called into ScoreSense to try to resolve the issue, and the person told me that it was my bank's fault. And frankly, I was kind of expecting it to be my bank's fault. So I called my bank. My bank said, nope, not our fault. It's their side because they're putting in the wrong zip code. So I went back and I even changed my personal information to have my business billing in order to try to facilitate it, and went through the sign-up process again, and it still failed. So double fail, ScoreSense. I called in and got no support, no help. The guy said, I can't even look you up if you don't pay. So he couldn't even look me up in the system, made me call my bank and waste my time for something that wasn't my bank's fault, and no matter what I did, I was unable to sign up. So that's a double fail. I then went to try to do it through FreeScore 360, and I, at that point, started with putting my business information in case maybe it was just changing it that caused the problem. And I went through it, and it still failed and was unable to sign me up. So that's literally a quadruple fail for ScoreSense. You know, my underwriter said they didn't like the report so much anyway, so, you know, I view it as I saved some money. I still got to tell you the answer without spending the whatever $60 or something they would have sucked out of me for that. But double fail for ScoreSense, company, and FreeScore 360, I would skip those. That's my recommendation. And that is where our story ends. The next site that I attempted to do was Identity Guard. And with Identity Guard, I got a new error that I hadn't gotten before, and I called in again. So if you're paying attention, I believe this is the fourth call-in. When I said I had to call in for 4, this is the fourth, or maybe 5th. I didn't have to call in Nav, thank God. So this is the fourth call-in, and this one, the guy was actually able to figure out the issue. The issue is that I had done it's not that I pulled my report too many times. There's no limit on the amount of times you could check your credit. But the security question process, where their website queries Equifax, pulls some data out, you have to answer it correctly to sign up. It had happened too many times in the morning, and so I was blocked for 72 hours. So I have to wait 72 hours to continue on this interesting journey. So the next section is going to be identity protection sites. And that includes Identity Guard, Identity IQ, Privacy Guard. I don't know how I'm going to sign up for that because that's one that I already have. Frankly, maybe I'll have somebody else use their info and we'll time them. We get a pinch hitter to come in. And LifeLock. Those are is that 5? Is that 4 or 5? 5. Anyway, those are the last ones we're going to do for the sign up. I can proceed with the canceling. So I'll start canceling some of these bad boys. and we'll see how that goes. Maybe we get some nice heated exchanges as people try to tell me that I'm dumb for canceling or refuse, or let's see how many levels of escalation you have to go through in order to cancel. Some of these are going to be easy and free, so I'm looking forward to that. But that is it. So in summary, from the sign-up process, the fastest sign-up we had was still annual credit report. Is that right? That's still the fastest. The fastest and freest annual credit report. Of course, you can only do it once a year, so that's a limitation. The second one after that, I'm going to have to recommend, is Credit Karma. Good report that we can review. And again, it's free. So those are free forever. I will let you know over the next month if they are spamming me or selling my information to the highest bidder. Hopefully they're not. I'll let you know about everybody. And then we're going to have to continue this later. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of one of these websites. For one of the future shows, I can go through and do some redacting. We can actually show what the different reports look like. With all that said, we have the ability to do a soft pull here. What that means is when you go apply at a bank for financing, they do what's called a hard pull. It puts an inquiry on your credit report. We now have the ability to do a soft pull. Now, you don't even have to sign up for one of these sites. You are not required to do it. If you fill out our application and send it in, we can do a soft pull where no hard inquiry is placed on your credit report, and you don't have to worry about signing up for one of these sites or getting your information sold to anybody. I definitely recommend doing that. If you need assistance, definitely give us a call. Go to FINANCEAGENTS.com, fill in your information. We'd be happy to help you with funding. But that is it for today's show, unless we have questions. I'm going to kind of throw it out there, but it doesn't sound like there are any. Check back next week for the next episode where we go through and sign up for the last 5 sites, and I'll give you information on the cancellation process. Hopefully by next week, I will have signed up for the last ones, canceled all of them, and we'll have the first indication if anybody is spamming somebody without their permission.
Yeah, there's just been some comments. People are running into the similar issues. Like,
oh, what kind of issues? Tell me about what you're seeing.
Says that all of them are doing things to get money. Called 2 of them, but I stopped it at my bank. Elaine agreed. Annual credit report and Credit Karma are the best, and they're free. And Ernest is super excited. He's been waiting for this show.
Oh, cool. All right. What was the one that you said about somebody called their bank, called 2 banks? What is that?
Rodney.
No, what did he say exactly? I didn't understand
all
the
of
words.
them are called 2 of them, but I stopped it at my bank.
Called 2 of them, but stopped it at the bank. So what I think you're saying is that you signed up for a credit monitoring site successfully and got charged money, and then you went to your bank and told them to stop the payment. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think anybody's doing anything fraudulent, but if you can avoid the cost, then that's awesome. Oh, maybe what you're saying is you were trying to cancel and the cancellation was so hard. It was easier to cancel at your bank than cancel with the provider. I understand that. I am going to sweat and bleed until I force them to cancel every one of these sites, except for Equifax. The nice thing about Equifax is you don't need to cancel. There's nothing to cancel. Although we'll see how many emails. I wonder if I just volunteered for emails until I die. When you see the individual ones, I'll remind you that I had a Nav account once in the past, and man, do they email the heck out of you. Every time anything changes on your personal credit report or your business credit report, and we're talking 5 bureaus they're monitoring: Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and then Dun & Bradstreet Business and Experian Business. You're getting an alert almost every single day. It's diarrhea of alerts, man. I apologize for saying it. There's just so many. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Let's try unsubscribing or whatever. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you for coming on to another episode of Finance Agents Live. Check back next week for time trials number 2. We'll put all this stuff in a chart so it's easier to see. And subscribe to the show, like me or the show I probably spent $300 so that you could know what the best site is to go to. All right, awesome.
And
Thanks
make
a
sure
lot.
to hit that bell icon to get notifications when we're live, when we post new videos.
That's right. Get notified. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Look forward to doing a lot more deals together.